Welcome to our HITRUST Primer training, presented by Digital Forge. Today, we'll cover topics such as issues facing today's organizations, what is HITRUST, what is the HITRUST My CSF, and how do I get started? Issues facing today's organizations. There are many issues that organizations today face. In the news, it's not uncommon to hear about the latest ransomware attack, breach, or security issue. These issues have grown in frequency and could affect any organization or individual. New and existing regulations. Next is the increase of regulations or requirements that organizations need to adhere to. Not only are there many regulations facing organizations, but the implementation sometimes takes interpretation or high levels of expertise to properly implement. One of the most recent additions to regulations is the GDPR, which affects every organization that holds the information of any person in the European Union, with heavy fines for those that do not comply. Beyond the GDPR, several types of organizations have government-imposed requirements on how they operate. HIPAA affects insurance or any healthcare provider, while PCI DSS affects many of those that use credit cards as part of their operations. Still more are affected by what state they're operating in. What is an organization to do when they're being attacked on all sides? HITRUST compliance may be the answer. HITRUST not only aids in being compliant with local, state, federal, and international regulations, but brings a level of assurance against being hacked or facing a breach. It can even bring peace of mind, streamline internal operations, and reduce costs. What is HITRUST? The HITRUST Alliance was formed by multiple industry leaders to streamline a process for healthcare-related organizations to become compliant with multiple regulations. It's a prescriptive, scaled path to certification, where many of the regulations and requirements were subjective or interpretive, such as HIPAA. HITRUST started with ISO and HIPAA, and then added PCI DSS, NIST, COBIT, and recently added paths to SOC 2, GDPR, New York's 23 NYC RR 500, with other state, federal, and regulatory requirements. HITRUST's Assess Once, Report Many allows organizations to do one full assessment and show compliance levels to many different requirements, saving time and money. HITRUST has since been adopted by companies such as Google and Microsoft as a way to quickly and easily implement regulation requirements and assurance. As an assurance, many of these organizations are requiring all vendors to also become HITRUST compliant in order to do business. They do this because organizations that are HITRUST compliant are much less of a risk. What is the CSF? The CSF was created by the HITRUST Alliance to help organizations adhere to the multiple regulations they face in a one-stop prescriptive implementation that takes into account an organization's size. The implementation takes into account fitting and scalable risk and compliance principles. What is the HITRUST My CSF? The HITRUST My CSF is a software-as-a-service product created by the HITRUST Alliance to provide an easy way to become HITRUST compliant. With a subscription from the HITRUST Alliance, the My CSF allows an organization to enter information about themselves, and the tool will map them to the regulations that apply to them. Once the mapping process is complete, questions are presented to attest to the compliance level of applicable regulations. Once all information is completed, the My CSF will allow for a report to be created, or allows all the information to be sent to a selected auditor to validate the entries on the path to HITRUST certification. How do I get started? Only certified HITRUST assessing firms may validate HITRUST implementations. Digital Forge offers a wide variety of HITRUST-related services, from initial planning to configuration and setup to My CSF validations. Digital Forge has specialized teams that can aid in whatever stage you may be in. To find out if HITRUST is right for your organization, or more about our services, contact a Digital Forge representative today. HITRUST My CSF and HITRUST CSF are all copyrights owned by the HITRUST Alliance. For more information, contact Digital Forge, a HITRUST certified assessor firm.